Yo, what's going on? This is Rock Davis. I want to talk a little bit about some Whopper, Poppers, and Choppers. But first of all, before I do so, I want to give thanks to God, my Father in heaven, who lead me, who guide me, who give me wisdom, knowledge, understanding, who touched me and wake me up this morning. Wasn't that nudge? Wasn't your alarm clock who did that? Was the Most High. Just give him thanks for what he do for you. Don't be watching the next person. You. Give him thanks for what he do for you. Might be something small, but as that day go by, as the week go by, that blessing can grow. Give Christ thanks. Let the church say amen. Now I want to talk a little bit about these choppers, and Whopper flop poppers, and how I use them, the different colors. The dark ones, the black ones. I got a few other ones, but I can't remember. Y'all know how that is. What container they in? I wanted to show you, like that color looked like the trout, uh, the bluegill, or wherever bait fish you fishing on. The shad, a couple of silver ones here. I got a black one here with a silver belly. This one here, guys, I'm gonna tell you. Why I throw them at is uh like lay downs. You could throw them any place. Like you don't want to throw them on top of lily pads and and thick weed and all that stuff like that. You don't want to throw them in real shallow water. No, I'll go as low as a popper. I'll go as low as 2 feet of water, 2.5 feet of water. I'm telling you, you'll catch fish. Round docks. You don't. I wouldn't want. I don't throw them. I don't throw it where they can skip underneath the docks because you know these baits be on the top of the water and I don't want them. You can skip them and they don't go down. To stay from hooking underneath the dock on a pole or one of the piers on the side or something like that. So I throw them alongside. I cast alongside of the dock, out in the front of the dock. You got to lay down. You got a bush right over there. I throw beyond that bush and come right on through there with that. Now I fish these um, choppers and whopper poppers. I fish these things. I fish them year round. My crankbaits, I fish those year round, man. I'm telling you, it just to me is where you at and what time of the day it is. That's how I go about it. Like if it's early in the morning or something like that, I use where ain't no sun. The sun ain't come out yet. I use a dark color, uh, heavy green, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Black. When the sun come out, then I use a lighter color, like I just get through talking about a shad color like that, a baby um, bluegill or something like that. That kind of color. When the sun out, when you can the sun beaming on the water, a silverless one, something like this right here, clear, but great. Well, what you ain't gonna see the back of it anyway. You know, you can see the bottom part of it like this right here, with that rattle and that thing be kicking up that water on. Yes, sir. 3 feet of water, brilliant. 2.5 feet of water, brilliant. 4 feet of water, brilliant. I don't go no higher than like 5 feet of water and off close by a bank. I throw close by a bank where it can be in like no deeper than like 4 feet of 5 feet of water is how I fish. Um, I like fishing with, I use the ugly stick. You know how I get down. I use the Garcia, and um, I don't go no lower than 12. I use a 12 ounce line. 12 ounce. No, yeah, I go 12. Just so I can get a nice cast. So it can come back easier. Um, but my go-to is 14 or 15, something like that. But when I catch it, when I on top water like that, I try to use a 12. That way it can bring the bait back nice and easy. Um, um, like I said, I do not try to throw these around weeds, anything like that, high weeds, because and round lily pads, and because they will get caught, you catch up. Because now it's different from you doing that with a frog, because the frog, I'm talking Whopper poppers and right now, so I don't want to show you no frogs and nothing like that. I know crankbait, but like you get nice wind outside, they're great to use. Any crankbait or any um, you know shaker bait with shaker and it's good to go. Um, I don't know how much of y'all like fishing in the rain, but if you got a nice spot where you can go out there and it's raining, those poppers are good. It's good to it's good to use too. You can use that in after the rain. You had a good rain and the water done wash bugs down in the water, up against the banks, up against the lay downs, all that kind of stuff. Right under, you got um, um, shelter, the tree edge hanging over the water. Yes, you can throw those any and all that. I do. Um, you know what I'm saying? Um, um, one thing I don't um, had to get my train of thought back. Excuse me for that. One thing I don't like to do when I fish in top water bed, I like floating crankbaits and these Whopper poppers and uh, F. I'm just saying F. F. I say I am gonna mention them, but it's in the conversation. F. I'm fishing a frog. Uh, I like things, especially when I'm top water fishing. I like things that make sounds because unless you're fishing in a quiet place, I like things that make sounds, man, because you can draw the attention of a fish that, like, this is your water, and 15 feet off, maybe 20 feet off, that bass will hit. That bass will hit. I like the fan fish cast. I start over here in this corner and just keep going like this right here. I keep going just like that, just like a clockwork, just like a clockwork. Another cast, I start back over. Now, if I get a big bite, like I get off the silver and black one, I had two good bites. I know they had to been like, I'll say like 3 pounds. Ah, good. Whenever you fishing in with top water fish, top water baits, make sure, guys, make sure. As soon as you get the hook, do not try to the hook sink your hook. Then give it a second. I know you're saying I might lose the fish, but you got to give them a second because sometimes they don't bite the bait; they ram the bait. Oh, excuse me. They don't bite the bait; they ram the bait. Boom from the side like that. When they bite the bait, they don't have them set yet. You got to give them time when they come up on the water. To give them time to turn around. When they turn around, then you can sink your hook, and then you can get the fish to come back to you like that. Then you get your wine on. A lot of times, I have done it too. I have done it too. I've been casting out there and casting out there, casting out there 35 minutes, 45 minutes gone by. I ain't get a bite. I ain't nothing hitting the line. And when I do get them, when I do get that hit, what I do? I try to set the hook before he even put the bait good in his mouth. Or he don't have the bait in his mouth. He just rammed the hook. That's why when we get fishes sometimes back to the dock or back to the boat or back to the bank or wherever we fishing at, that's why sometimes you see it hook on the side of their mouth, hook on the top of your head. Is because they ram them sometimes, especially when when a fish in cover, they attack them. They come out to grab, to carry back into that shelter they've been in. They in the opening, they like to ram. They like to knock them out. Then they come circle back around to eat them. But then if you got those good hooks, those good trio hooks on it, what happened is the hook in the side of them, and you practically bring the fish up just like that. Catch it. Which we as fishermen and and ladies too. I'm not going to count the ladies out. When you catch them, you ain't gonna throw them back and say you ain't catch that fish. You're gonna take the props for the catching the fish. However you catch it. If I'm not mistaken, those guys who be in them bass tournaments, I think they cannot. I don't think they can hook the fish like that because the guy I just hear sometimes when I'm watching the show, the guys will be on the boat asking you if you hook him in the mouth, and he say yeah, I hook him in the mouth because if them fish is sitting on like sitting on those bed, and then you on the boat or whatever, and you see him and you throw on and you can hook the fish instead of, I guess that's one of the rules they got. You can't do the fish like that. You can't hook them any side. You got the fish got to bite the bait, which is a good rule, I guess, because you can catch a lot of fish like that, especially if they're spawning. If they're spawning, you catch a lot of fish like that. But I like fishing in with those. I'm a crankbait guy. Which whoever watch my videos know I'm a crankbait guy. I like crankbait, lipless, uh, square bed, the deep shovel. Some of the deep shovel. The deep shovel go down deeper, 15, 20. But I don't like fishing in that deep. So if you cranking them slow, if you cranking them slow on a 6 6 or something like that, a 5 8. I talk about the real and the crank and gears they have. You don't want a big like a 10, 9 or something like that, and fishing in with fishing in a, um, a big spoon because that thing will go real deep. If you ain't in that kind of deep water, say you fishing in some place and you in 6 feet of water, and you know in that water have timber and all that stuff in them, you gonna get hooked up. You gonna lose a lot of lines. So that's another thing. Like make sure the area you fishing, you know the baits you using, the colors. I always, when the sun's out good, I like to use lighter colors. I like to use like white and trail, or, you know, yellow bellies and stuff like that. And when it's dark, no light, just had a big rain and it's cloudy out. I like to use dark colors, dark green, pumpkin, what I'm talking about, black, and stuff like that. I use those colors because they really go. They really go and get them, guys. They really go and get them. Um, um, you know, don't get discouraged if you in the area where they ain't biting. That's just how it is. Fish move. Fish move. So just stay afloat. Whopper poppers. That's what I like. I like them, but my go-to is the crankbaits. Y'all know that. I like other baits too, but I mainly like baits that make noise. Not too much noise, but to wake them up, especially on a high windy day. Uh, with a excuse me, where the fish can't see the bait. That's why I like a good crankbait, Whopper popper. Uh, um, so spinner. You know about the spinner too. Spinner good on top of the water too when you got heavy or it raining outside and you don't think the fish can hardly hit. Yeah, the spinner baits is good too. But that's all. I just want to get on here and just talk a little bit about the Whopper poppers, just Schenkels. They're good baits. And that's it. That's all I got. If you like the video, how about give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, God bless. Yo, y'all take it easy.